We're gonna get through this really quickly because there's not really much to this, just like every other update at this point. So another no generic 1000 crystal time gated, most likely events is going to be dropping for Turles. Cool stuff there. More chrono crystals, definitely can't complain too much. And we have the Zenkai sleeves for Android 16, some new equipment, so I'm not going to get into those. A new bring the heat login bonus. So this was the same type of login bonus that we got last year, right before this guy dropped. Definitely still think that there's going to be another big step up banner coming late summer. Stick around for that. So Broly and Cheelai have returned for the first time ever since their release. This was kind of expected. This banner is not really the best to summon on, in my personal opinion. It's just more bait, but I know some people are going to be tempted since Saga from the movies has gotten better as a team. So this is weird. This is a weird one. They're bringing back the Ganyu Force event from last year, so I'm guessing that's for new players who probably didn't farm it up, because I don't think they're going to let us farm it up again if you already got it to 3-star. I don't know. And they're bringing that back, all this other old ass events that we already had. And then we have, this is the feature banner for the Saga from the movies. What's the name banner? I think it's guaranteed sparking per each, right? It's guaranteed sparking per multi. So out of all the filler banners, this is probably one of the best in my personal opinion, but I still think that you guys should wait it out. Like Broly and Cheelai, they're good, but I don't know. I don't think they're that crazy, right? To where you just gotta have them, right? Like they're not. You don't like gotta have them as a unit, right? But in my personal opinion, yo, can you let me back out? Oh, okay. So there's that. So yeah, enough talking about that. Let's just hop in and look at Android 16, because that's what I really care about. That's what's really caught my interest. That's what you guys really care about. So let's go ahead and transition on to the EBZ space and take a full look at Android 16, and we'll evaluate his Zenkai. Zenkai info put out in the cut. My third time trying to record this, by the way, so let's get straight into it. So main ability, I'm going to self-destruct, draw his ultimate arts card, final strength next, restores ki by 70, 30% damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, 25 timer counts must elapse before you can activate this. Pretty standard, nothing too crazy there. So this is all metal stuff. So his first unique ability that they changed, reduce damage received by 50 until combo ends when changing cover, restores 50 of damage taken doing cover change, and substitution count increases by 2. So that passive literally did not change. I don't think they changed anything from that passive, which they really didn't need to. That's still like one of the best abilities in the game. For a damage cut, he heals 50% of the damage that he takes back. That's one of the reasons why he was like one of like the godliest tank back when he first came out. So pretty solid there. The following effects occur when enemy attack is over. 20% to damage inflicted by allies for 20 time accounts, and 20% to damage inflicted for 20 time accounts. Okay, that's pretty solid. Nothing too crazy, nothing too like out of the water. Pretty standard stuff. Not, it's just very cookie cutter, very basic. Robotic body nullifies all attribute conditions, which makes him immune to like stuff like fate, stuff like that. And applies buff effect, nullify attribute downgrade up to 2 times to self when battle starts. So basically he won't be able to be hurt by any of those bullshit effects. No poison, no debuffs, no damage received debuffs, none of that. He won't really be able, you won't really have to worry about that with him. Makes sense. Applies the following effects to allies when this character is defeated. Restores health by 15, 20% to damage inflicted, 15% to damage inflicted by tag android character or Gohan. So these are his death buffs. It makes sense that he has death buffs because his main ability is a self-destruct. He's blowing himself up. So you want it to be to where you're getting some value for giving up a character, because sometimes if, I don't know, these death buffs aren't really that particularly that good though. Like 50% to damage inflicted, that's very minuscule, that's very small. 20% damage inflicted, that's solid. I mean, he's giving 20% damage inflicted and then another 50 to a character Gohan or Android. So that's what, 35. Okay, so 35 damage. That's solid. Okay, that's solid. I feel like the heal could have been like at least 25, but you know what? That's okay. His damage buffs are solid. They still have this whole. It makes sense why Gohan is there, right? But I don't know. Unless they plan on working on like a Cell Saga team in the future, I don't really see that that whole Gohan part of his passive really having any worth, right? Rising Weapon of Destruction unlocks on powerful class. Applies the following effects itself according to the number of battle members when this character enters the battlefield. If it's him and 2 other battle members, he gets 40% to strike damage inflicted. Pretty solid. Two battle members, he gets 40% to damage inflicted, and then one battle member, he gets 50% to damage inflicted, reduces damage received by 20. So he's meant to be a last man standing type tank, huh? Pretty solid. His special move, Hell Flash, deals massive impact damage, so they upped that to massive. That wasn't massive before, if I can recall. And it gives him 30% to self-destruct damage for 30 timer counts on hits now. Okay. And then now it has Blast Armor. His green card restores ki by 30, 20% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts, and 50% to self-destruct damage cannot be canceled. So it cannot be canceled, but it does not say it cannot be stacked. So I'm guessing you can stack your self-destruct damage infinitely on with his green card. It doesn't really say here, but I'm not seeing a cannot be stacked here, so I'm guessing that's the case. That's pretty solid. Does major self-destruct damage. This self-destruct damage does not depend on the own health, but is a fixed amount of damage. A positive following effects occur on self-destruct hit. 50% to allied character Gohan's ki recovery for 20 timer counts. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade. Minus 80% to health restoration for 30 timer counts. Blast armor when charging forward. Okay, so the 50% to ki recovery for Gohan, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's fodder. That really doesn't mean for much. Minus 80 to health restoration is solid, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty solid. For 30 timer counts, could be better, but it's still pretty solid in my personal opinion. Is it for all allies? Yeah, all enemies. Okay, so I mean for all enemies. So yeah, that's solid because it's a debuff to all enemies. None of them will be able to heal pretty much for 30 timer counts. It's okay. It's pretty solid. Then he buffs android strike attack defense, strike defense, and he buffs green androids with his Zenkai ability. So overall, my evaluation on this guy, right, on Android 16, he's kind of in the same class of where I would class all the rest of these other Zenkais. I feel like he's definitely going to get some play because he's green, but I don't think that he's just going to particularly just make androids the best team in the game. I don't think that's true. I don't think he's just going to make them just super OP duper broken. He's definitely going to be a crazy top tier option for their team, in my personal opinion, as far as defense wise, but I don't think he's just out of the water, just like spectacular. There's nothing just in this kit that's just saying, wow, this guy's just supremely broken, but he's good. And it kind of is the same formula with the rest of all these Zenkais. Just if you're not a fan of the character, or if you don't like the team that they're on, like the teams that they're on, if you don't care about any of the teams that they're on, and they're not buffing all the teams that you would care for, or one of your main teams, then it's kind of the same concept where I think that this Zenkai is obviously skippable. I know some people are going to summon to on it just because he's a green unit, and I'd be like, okay, well, we finally got a green unit for against Blue Gogeta, but to be honest, Vegeto's teams, it's not just him, it's the fact that his teams have so much support on them is what make them so good. So I don't think that just one green unit in the meta is just going to completely shut down Vegito Blue, because there's so many good units that are backing him on that team, on the team that he's on. So that's why I never really fought for that whole green unit thing. But he's solid. He's just solid in my personal opinion. He's good, not too broken, just about what I expected. My expectations weren't really high, so it is what it is. So it's your boy Kaiki. Go like, for more content. Tell me what you gotta think about this. Tell me what you gotta think about Android 60 here. Tell me how impressive you think he is. Yeah, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord. Tell me what you gotta think about that. Yeah, and I'm out.